Gary found that Frederick, Oklahoma's Cal Rector was an itinerant big man, 6'2", 298 pounds, with a good portion of his weight displayed around his waist. The Rythm Tamers band leader Troy Ullage, and lead guitarist Jerry Willis having known the local man forever. Big Cal was a town fixture and sometimes would accompany the band as a roadie, helping load and unload the musical equipment. It was 2 a.m., Gary and Jerry consummating a Saturday night engagement at the Pink Elephant Club in the military town of Altus. Troy and the other members of the band having departed, Big Cal joining the two for a ride back to Frederick. It was a typical warm summer Oklahoma night, Jerry chauffeuring the 52 Oldsmobile with the windows down, traversing the zigzag course through Tipton, turning south, then east towards Frederick. The pungent smell of fresh-cut hay filling the moonlit night sky, the mellow silence broken by the hushed muffled sound emitting from the cruising transport. The steady drone of the muffler was broken as Jerry slowed the car, volunteering a question, "Do you smell that?" The aromatic bouquet engulfed the effulgence night, bequeathing recognition to its source, when the perception was answered, "Watermelon." The car coming to a halt, the plan was simplistic in satisfying their newfound appetite. The only obstacle was the presence of a farmhouse 100 yards up the road. It was decided the two musicians would disembark to retrieve the flavored melons. Cal was to drive past the farmhouse, up the slight raise, turning around out of sight and returning to recover the performers with their agricultural gifts. Jerry and Gary exited the car, Cal now occupying the driver's seat. The conception was initiated, but immediately the two encounter a problem. The fence surrounding the watermelon-endowed field was barbed wire and difficult to traverse. The two finally entering the field, hastily securing the assets, but then it was noticed, although Cal had bridged the rise to turn about, the car's headlight beams struck the farmhouse, reflecting a presence. The sound of a dog barking pierced the muted night, and the farmhouse lights suddenly appeared, giving notice of an awakening. Muscling their watermelon burden through the barbs, the musician noticed a figure emerging from the farmhouse. Haste was of consequence. With the car's arrival, their bounty secure, they drove a hastily exit towards Frederick, mission accomplished. On the way back a brief discussion ensued. The decision was affirmed. The three would journey to Troy's house in Frederick and share the fruits of their labor. Troy and his family were quartered as caretakers on a large farming estate a mile north of town. They resided in a 2-bedroom abode above a 6-car garage adjoining the vacated manor house. The Oldsmobile entering the long sweeping drive into the estate grounds, the lights from Troy's residence a sign that they were still up. With their arrival the group assembled, Troy and his wife Shirley joining the outside festivities to partake of the ill-gotten gains, the juice from carving of the melons spotting the pavement. The atmosphere was convivial, exuberance reigned in relating the episode of retrieving the melons when they noticed a pair of headlights turning off the highway, entering the long sweeping drive entrance. It was a black and white, the highway patrol. Immediate pandemonium. Watermelon chunks, rinds, pieces, all hastily gathered and deposited in the bushes out of sight from the approaching eyes of the law. The hard evidence was dispersed, but the telltale liquid from slicing the rinds was visible. The hesitant group stood disconsolate as the police cruiser halted. The car door opened, the officer approached to relate his presence. The two musicians, suspecting that somehow the melon farmer had noticed the license plate on the Oldsmobile, and reported their actions. Expecting the worst, the patrolman smiled, and politely began by disclosing a neighbor had noticed the lights and activity and was concerned about Troy's wife Shirley, knowing that Troy was absent weekend nights. the highway patrolman culminating his explanation. As the patrol car traversed up the sweeping drive, the group's exuberance for watermelon had been quenched, Gary concluded from the experience, a subtle reminder that transgressions brings consequences.